Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about Pretty Little Liars Summer School, technically Original Sin Season 2. So this show came out in 2022, the first season, and now in 2024, the second season has finally arrived. Why? Well, the actor strike and the writer strike. And so it was revealed a long time ago that this show was going to get retitled to that of Summer School. I assumed that, hey, maybe it'll be an anthology. No, it's not. And so when it comes to Pretty Little Liars, of course, as many know, that this was a show that came out over about a decade ago, and it was on Freeform, and it was an amazing show for the first 4 seasons. The rest of the seasons really sucked. Basically, the showrunner was cooking up a storm in the first couple of seasons, but in the last couple of seasons, well, her cooking got so bad that she couldn't even make microwave popcorn without burning it and stuff. And so, like, she kept trying to make, like, spin-offs after spin-off until, like, finally the network's like, yo, man, we're done with you. So years later, they came out with this reboot, and Roberto Sacasco. No, is it Roberto Akiro Sacasco or something like that? I can't stand this man. When I say I can't stand this man, I cannot stand this man. I don't understand how he keeps getting hired. I don't understand why he keeps messing up shows. This man has messed up 3 shows that I was into, and 2 of them he created. One is based on the Archie comic books, which he bought the rights to, and he made Riverdale. And Riverdale was okay in the first season, but after that, it just got bad. So bad that not only were people who hated the show making fun of it, but even fans of the show started making fun of it. And even the stars started making fun of the show, to the point where some stars wanted to be killed off the show and got their wish. Then he created the comic of The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. And he created the show, and he deviated from his source material, and the show was just mediocre and stuff. It was super confusing. And then he got the reins to Pretty Little Liars, and well, I do not like the first season. I don't like the first season. I don't like the first season. The show doesn't know if it wants to be a 80s slasher type movie, a YA novel, or a Pretty Little Liars spinoff. So it decides to be all 3. And it did not do a very good job of it. At first it started off as like the 80s slasher thing, but then it quickly went into like a YA novel. And, with the whole Pretty Little Liars thing just fused into like the middle. And so originally it's about this murder mystery that happened a decade ago. And then it went from that to like assault on 2 girls, and they had to figure out who it did. And then it was like it went from one narrative to a completely different narrative, but both narratives were combined kinda into one. Kinda, but not really. No, not really. It was just completely different. And it was his typical lousy writing, his philosophical ways, bad lighting, bad like choice decisions when it comes to like a teen drama. Sorry about that, my camera died. One-dimensional characters, a one-dimensional villain, a one-dimensional like villain accomplice plot, and just a bunch of stupidity and everything like that. But I will give him credit for one thing. He corrected a few mistakes of the original. Both shows have like a transgender person. His show actually has a real transgender person. And like, yes, there's still the adults and like, liking like teens and stuff like that. But in this show, they let you know, hey, it's wrong. Because in the original, the showrunner, the network, and the stars kept telling you, hey, they're soulmates. The grown man who's a teacher and his student who's a teenager, they're soulmates. They even made shirts saying that. Ooh, woman, I can't stand you for all that in the network. Like, that's just disgusting and gross. Also, another thing his show did better is that the teenagers actually dressed like teenagers. And the original, they dressed like supermodels and stuff. And I did not understand that. However, there's still more criticism to his show. The town looks bleak, boring, and depressing. And, it's not as exciting as the original series. Also, the villain is not scary whatsoever. I'm sorry, but how the heck do you go from a Mike Myers looking dude, and he's supposed to be scary, but he's not. He's just a one-dimensional person who don't say nothing, and we never get to see his face. But the original villains from the original series were a heck of a lot more mysterious and scary, and all they wore was a hoodie and everything. I don't get that. And so when it came to season 2, I decided to watch because I wanted to see if he was going to correct the mistakes of the first season and make it better. And well, let's just put it like this. Not only can he still not cook, but he forgot to add the seasoning. The first 2 episodes, which is available on HBO Max, are very bland, very bleak, and much of almost nothing actually happens. Now, I've seen some people jumping for joy, excited, talking about, oh, they're so scary and everything. Yes, people do like this show. I don't. Okay? I'm sorry, but when TV shows, when slashers become TV shows, they just don't do it for me. They really don't. Scream was just okay, but it wasn't nothing to shake too much of a tail feather at. I know what you did last summer. Sucked. And the only good slasher I've ever seen was, the show called Slasher, which was a Canadian show. The first 3 seasons rocked, and the last 2 sucked to the point of cancellation. But those first 3 seasons, oh my God, they was good. And the thing is that I'm never really scared. I will admit one thing. In one scene in the second episode, I kind of was like, oh my God, is something bad going to happen to her? But nah. And so it's just, you have a new killer who's called Bloody Rose or something like that. And she has a cool mask. She is our new A, and her face is wrapped in bloody bandages, and supposedly Archie ripped her face off or some crap like that. She's basing herself off of Angela Waters from the first season who died. We don't know who she is. We don't know who the actress is playing her. We don't know what ties she has to Angela Waters. So it's just another rando person and everything. And that kind of defeats the purpose of the original, because the original, they kept the same bad person for a good while until they switched it up. But at least they had some connections. Now, one problem I'm having with this show is the title. I wish to God they would call it something else other than Pretty Little Liars. Why? Because the whole purpose is that these girls are pretty, which yes, they are, but they're not liars. Why are they called Pretty Little Liars then? Because of the simple fact that was the premise of the original series. Our main girls, the heroes, were liars. They constantly lied, and somebody knew all their secrets and blackmailed them. And it was their friend that blackmailed them till their friend went missing. And then a mysterious person started blackmailing them, making them do terrible and bad stuff. It was intriguing, it was mysterious, and it kept you captivated. These secrets were so bad, it will hurt people, their loved ones and everything. These girls were willing to keep these secrets and be stalked by a random person instead of going to the police. That was so interesting. Now you have serial killers who wear these goofy costumes and they still contact them via the internet or via phone or text, something like that, but they don't never seem scary. They just seem generic, and the show tries too hard. This show tries too hard to be an actual slasher, but it doesn't succeed because you don't feel scared. You never feel anticipation. You never feel the thrills. You never think, oh my God, this person's gonna get it. And when they do kill somebody, which they kill a lot of people in the first episode, it's not even fun kills. They happen so fast. Like, wait, what just happened just here? And then when they killed the 2 people at the end, the camera cut away. is this a rated R show or a PG-13? It feels like it's just PG. Like, show me somebody getting stabbed. They'll show blood splattering here and there. That's about it. Now, the kill in the second episode was a little bit better, but you didn't get to see the blade plunge into like the flesh. You just see the blood splattering their way and cut from here and cut from there. It's like it's PG rated or something like that. And I'm like, dude, that slasher TV show from Canada was actually a broadcast television show, and they upped the ante more than a movie. And they are able to show all that blood and gore and everything like this. And this is a streaming show. You should be able to get away with that and stuff. And so whenever I see these people die, one, I could care less because they're barely in the show. They're not even characters really in the show. The first couple of kills are from last season because they want to wrap everything up from the last season. So that's what happens in the very first episode entitled Spooky Spaghetti. And no, I'm not kidding. That's the name of the episode because there's a website called Spooky Spaghetti for the television show. Originally, it was supposed to be called Loose Ends. That's a better title. Spooky Spaghetti is the stupid mind of Roberto. He does this crap. Like Jenga, whatever, from Riverdale was a drug. And like, what the heck? Just because that name's in the Archie comic don't mean you make it into like something terrible for people. And it just sounds stupid and goofy because that is who Roberto is and everything. He's just odd when it comes to creating. He helped write the first episode with his stupid spooky spaghetti and everything. But oh my Jesus Christ. And he said, oh, the new mask for like, the new A and everything, Bloody Rose. It's supposed to be some type of like, metaphor and everything for the stuff that unfolds this season. Stop trying to sound philosophical, man. And this A is supposed to be apocalyptic and terrifying and everything. So when it does the whole A thing to the girls, they're apocalyptic, and it's like some kind of like terrifying like method of like and stuff. And I'm just like, dude, stop trying to sound philosophical, dude. You're not. What the heck is this supposed to be apocalyptic and everything? Because what's so really stupid about this whole Bloody Rose is like Bloody Mary. Apparently say her name 5 times, she's supposed to come to you in the bathroom mirror. So the girls actually do that. I'm like, what the? Somebody needs to be slapped. Oh man, like I swear, man, like this is just like, this man can't cook and everything. And so the problem I'm having with this show is that it's supposed to be a slasher-based show, but I don't feel the slasheriness of it. I never feel scared. I never feel like somebody's really gonna get it. And like I said before, the people who die are people who aren't even really in the show. So basically, it starts off with right after the last episode of the last season. It's like Christmas time and the girls are worried and everything. And so A has decided, hey, I'm gonna escape and tie up all my loose ends. So he kills Chip. And he kills all the loose ends that are connected to the girls. The Farron's ballerina teacher. Imogen and like, what's her face? Imogen and what's the black girl's name? Imogen and I don't know. I think it's Tabby. Yeah, I think it is Tabby. It has been like 2 years since I watched this show, all right? I forgot people's names. So Tabby and Imogen, they killed Chip. Then Farron, the ballerina dancer, Noah, her mom's drug dealer. And as for Mouse, that creepy guy from the internet who she pretended to be his long lost daughter and he pretended to be her daddy because Roberto is creepy, man. Like, who? That was a dumb plot line from last season. So A kills all of them, but then A gets caught. And so they're going to put him on death row. Now that he's on death row, all the girls are feeling a little bit better. Even Intergen and everything. She's been having nightmares of him and everything. So time has now passed. She has now delivered the baby. And originally, it was supposed to be set up that she was supposed to give the baby to Ezra and Arya from the original series, but they changed it, and now they gave it. Now they gave the baby to a gay couple. Now, I'm assuming it was backlash because Ezra and Arya is that teacher daughter, not teacher daughter, but teacher student relationship I told you about before, and everybody hates that relationship. So there must have been some backlash, and it got changed. And so when it comes to the first two episodes only, there isn't that much character development. There's really only character development with Energen, maybe Tabby and everything, but the other girls are just there. It's a slow build up for them, and of course, Energen is like the main girl, because Bailey Madison is like the most recognizable star of this show. So of course, she is the main girl. And the stuff they did for her was actually good. I actually liked it. The problem is this is only going to be an 8-episode season, which is not good because the original one had, not the original, but the first season had 10, which is still not good, but it had more. And when you start cutting down numbers and episodes, that's never a good sign. But anyways, because it's an 8-episode season, these storylines are very, very rushed. The stuff they did with Energen could have been stretched out for the entirety of the season, and it would have been gold. Like what I said before, the stuff that they wrote for her was actually pretty good. It was really good and dramatic. They could have really did something with that, but it gets wrapped up by 2 episodes. And it's just kind of like, why and everything. So basically what her is like, she's missing her baby and she wants the baby back, kinda. And so she's constantly going to like the gay couple's house and giving them like supplies and this and that. And they are getting very, very, very irritated. They're like, look, you've been here too many times, blah, blah, blah. You decided to give this baby up. So it's like that. And so that gets quickly written out like very quickly. But you see, she's longing for her child, you know what I'm saying? Because she was a teen mother and stuff like that. She is also missing her mother, who offed herself in the first season. And she's having to take medication and stuff now. And I'll get to the counseling stuff a little bit later because Dr. Sullivan came back from the original series. So she's constantly seeing the counselor more than anybody else, and she's having a hard time coping. And so it turns out that all the girls have to go to summer school this summer because of the events of the first season. Apparently, they all do bad in school to where they fail to have to take summer school up. That's pretty convenient. It's almost like A knows this and wants them all in the same area so they won't have to go away for the summer so they can kill. That's a little convenient. I wonder who the ally is this season for the villain. So anyways, they all have summer school and all the girls are in the same class except for her. She's in there with all the delinquents and everything. And she don't like that. And we start to see a little bit of a rebellious side. Like she really wants to be with her friends, but it's just not happening. She talks to her dad a little bit and stuff. And I think she gets some medication from him. And so like, all of a sudden, she starts to want to be called by somebody else. She wants to start being called by her mother's middle name. She found a job at a diner far, far away near her dad's house, far away from her town. And she's doing this whole, she wants to be a different person type thing. That's really intriguing and stuff. It's like, because, she's having all these nightmares of like, the original A and everything. Even though he is locked up and about to be on death row. But the fact that she wants to be called somebody else and reinvent herself is fascinating. And of course, it's pretty obvious why. And she, of course, tells us why. It's because of a very bad thing that happened to her in the beginning of the first season. Her mom dying, her being alone, having to live with her best friend, A coming after her, her giving her baby up, her being assaulted by Chip, which, by the way, they constantly bring up the whole Chip assault thing constantly in the first 2 episodes. It's like every 10 minutes they remind us of that and stuff. And so like So she having a lot of like issues. So she just wants to reinvent herself, be a different person, this and that. Now, what's one thing that's odd is the lady who hired her. Then she do a background check to see that hey, she's not a real person and stuff. But anyway, her friends find out and they are concerned. But when she has class with them, she goes to their class and the teacher's all like, look, I told you before, you're not in my class. She gets extremely rude and nasty with the teacher to where all the girls take her to the bathroom. And this is when she confesses she just wants to be a different person. And so they tell her, like, hey, look, we like the person that you are now. So, of course, that now got wrapped up. At the end of the second episode, she goes into town, find a job near her school and everything, and finds a love interest. So much wasted potential with that. We could have seen her have a nervous breakdown or something more than what she did. Now, of course, there's a new A, and when she sees this A coming towards her, she thinks she's hallucinating. Now, one odd thing they're doing this summer is the color filter. During the day, no matter where you're outside or inside, it's like an amber reddish blonde kind of reddish yellow kind of color. But at night, it's interesting. If you're indoors, there's a bright blue light. I don't know why, but then you find out why. When you're outside near the ground, there's blue fog and everything. Why? Because Roberto thinks that's cool. I could make a better slasher drama series than this dude could, man. Ooh, I hate this man gets hired for everything. And so that's basically her storyline for these first two episodes. She's freaking out. She wants her medication adjusted. She thinks she's hallucinating. She has no idea that this A is actually real. One of the girls do, and for now, they're just going to keep it to themselves. And this A is interesting. This A likes to deliver flowers because of Bloody Rose. Isn't that genius, Roberto? But this A also contacts them via text, via computer, and all this cybernetic stuff. And it's just kind of like, how old are you to be able to do this? That's what I want to know. If it's an old person doing this like last time, nah, man, I don't believe that crap because old people are stupid when it comes to technology. So let me get through with the twin girl first because for some bizarre reason, she is still in the show. I know they need recurring characters and everything, which by the way, I think the reason why they got rid of the loose ends from last season, only because they couldn't think of anything with them. They wanted to start off fresh and probably because they had their strike and they just wanted a bunch of new characters. Anyway, twin girl. So she's still here and everything. And why? She's kind of in her own little world. Now, I don't know if this is Kelly or Karen, because I forget which one survived. But so I'm just going to call her Twin Girl. So Twin Girl is still in the show. She's away from the rest of the liars and everything. And she's at like Bible studies for the entire summer. And that's all we see her do. She's there at this religious group thing that feels more like a cult than it does like Bible studies and stuff. And she's having her own story arc away from the rest of the cast. Why? That don't make no sense. She was integrated last season so much better, but now she's just away. And the problem is her boyfriend wants to do it. But no, she's celibate now and everything. So he cost her this role in a play. And he just wants to hook up with this other girl because she's gonna put out. And he's like, look, just because we ain't gonna clickety clack don't mean I can't satisfy you no other way. So this is her storyline. And the girl he was gonna cheat on her with ends up dying by A. Why? Like I said before, the loose ends, from last season, but there are 3 new people who died this season. 2 are in the girls' class, and we never get to meet them until they hook up at their cabin, and then they die. Then the other girl is the religious girl that wanted, twin girl's boyfriend, and she dies. Why? These random people are not important characters. This is why I hate slasher TV shows like Scream. They do this crap where they just go and they kill random people in the show because they don't want to kill the main cast. It's a slasher show. You are supposed to kill the main cast, and that is that. So, Tabby, in the first episode, and in the first episode only, she is still the way she is last season. She still thinks she lives in a movie, a horror movie, a sci-fi movie, it don't matter what kind of movie. She's always making movie references. This is getting super annoying, but it really only happens in the first episode. By the second episode, she brings up movies, but it's more like a debate type thing. Oh, this movie's better because of this. This director's better because of this. We get it. You're a movie buff. You are the Randy of this show. And it starts to get very annoying. I would like to see her grow more. Now, the character development they gave her is that she put out a fan movie about what Chip did to her and how she got revenge and stuff like that. His mom does not like that whatsoever and is threatening to sue for defamation and stuff, which scares her away. At her job, she still has that creepy boss who likes her. The adult man who likes a teenage girl. Yeah, we're back to this crap again. Oh, and speaking of this, I'll get into her later. Anyway, I was going to bring up something, but never mind. So anyway, there's a new employee by the name of Christopher, I think his name is. At first, she's having PTSD of Chip. So she doesn't want nothing to do with him, but then later on, she starts to find out that he loves movies as much as her, and they start to have a romance, and it's a really cute one and stuff. She's trying to move on from what Chip did to her and everything, which they keep bringing up over and over and over again. Like, we get it, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's disgusting, it's terrible, and it's like, do we have to keep rehearing it every 10 minutes? Like seriously, that storyline is over and that character is dead and everything. And so, that is basically just what's going on with her. It's just she has a new love interest, and the PTSD thing is starting to go away. And when I say it's bleak, it's pretty much bleak. They could have done a bit more with her, but they're just not. You know what I'm saying? I wish they would do a little bit more, but, hey, whatever. Farron is barely has a storyline really, and she's kind of barely there. She's still seeing that guy from last season. She's no longer taking ballet because her ballet teacher is now dead, but she's doing a bunch of competitive sports type things. She's swimming. All the girls are learning self-defense classes, and so she wants to be a lifeguard and everything. But this season they decided to give her competition in the form of some guy. I really don't even know who he is. He might be the twin girl boyfriend. I'm not really sure. The problem with this show, okay. Here's the thing, right? I'm not trying to sound racist. I'm black. I'm going to use that stupid phrase of black people can't be racist. But here's the thing about some of these cast members in this show. I said this last season. There's not too much of a real distinction between the Pretty Little Liars like there was in the first series and everything. Now, at first glance, say you turn your head and you turn back to the screen, at first glance and you turn again, I tend to get Tabby and Farron confused. And I have to look, I'm like, oh, okay, now I know which is which. Same thing goes for Mouse and Nora and everything. If I turn my head real fast and turn back, I'm like, wait, which one I'm looking at? And I'm like, oh, okay, I know who it is. I'm actually looking at them now. Yes, they are different, but they have too much similarities and everything. So at first glance, I'm not sure who the heck I am looking at. The great thing about the first series that you can tell directly who you're looking at because all the girls look different and stuff. Imogen is the only one who looks different because she's a white blonde girl. And while I love diversity and I love wokeness and everything, I don't know why they're going to cast girls that look very similar. I'm not the only person who has this problem. Yes, I know that's bad to say. People aren't supposed to look the same. But, at times you get confused. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing about Farron and Tabby is that their hair used to be different in the first season. But then for whatever reason, Farron decides she wants to have curls in her hair. Once they did that, I couldn't tell them apart sometimes. Because, like I said, at first glance, I don't know who I'm looking at until I actually look and everything. And there have been some scenes where the person will talk and I have to look. I'm like, oh, okay, I know who you are now. And the same thing goes for Mouse and Nora and stuff. And it's just they tend to look a little similar with the skin tone, slight features in the face, hair. But then but with Mouse and Nora, I can really tell the difference between them. It's just if I turn my head, look back at the screen, then I'm not sure who I'm exactly looking at. But anything, she's just having competition with this one guy to the point where he made fun of her boyfriend calling him gay and she punched him. The dude couldn't even defend himself. They had to have her defend him. And these two are going to be competing all season. And that is her storyline for the first 2 episodes. She's just there. She was a whole lot more interesting last season, but now she's just here. And I think her swimming instructor dude, I think he has the hots for her. And I think he asked for her number. So once again, it's another student teacher thing that might happen. Like, dude, you are disgusting. So I'm gonna get to Noah. Noah is well, she's still living with her boyfriend and her mom's in rehab and stuff. But we see that she's having problems now with her mom, no, her boyfriend's mom and everything. Now, here's the thing I was going to bring up last time. There is so much clickety-clacking going on with these teens that it is not even funny. I am so tired of seeing teens have sex in teen dramas. They are doing it more in the first 2 episodes than the entirety of the first season of Original Sins and the entirety of all 7 seasons of Pretty Little Liars. Why, Roberto? Why do you do this? You did this on Riverdale. Why do you do this? And it was worse in Sabrina's show because they was having orgies and everything. Lord Jesus. What is wrong with you? You are a grown man. Why do you want to see this crap? So they're constantly doing it. They're constantly laying in the bed half naked. They're spending the night holding each other naked. It is gross and disgusting. And so she gets a surprise from this one person from her past, from when she was in juvie. Now, the way these two keep talking and everything, and the way her friend keeps looking at her and be all like, oh, you must have changed your number. Give me your new one and everything. And hey, are you still dating that guy? And I'm just like, yeah, I bet they're going to turn Noah secretly bisexual, and they do. So towards the end, when she's laying half naked in bed with her boyfriend, because Roberto for some reason thinks teens need to do it, she is picturing herself back in juvie laying in bed with that girl. I'm surprised she's bi because that was never brought up in season 1. And so this is going to cause conflict with her and that guy that she's dating. So I guess that's going to be her storyline going forward this season and everything. Now, here's the thing about the 2 teens clickety-clacking and the mom not liking her. The mom overheard her and him in the room, and she told Nora that, hey, I do not like that. I don't appreciate you going to my son's bedroom. But yet the mom did not stop her. This is the writing of Roberto. And last but not least, we got the mouse. And the mouse is still as dumb as she was last season when it comes to that of the internet. So I told you last season how, she played pretend daughter to this grown man she didn't know, and it was the creepiest thing I ever saw on television. Oh, Roberto, you disgusting man, you. So anyway, she's still very hung on the internet, can't get off it and stuff. And now she goes to, you guessed it, Spooky Spaghetti and everything, where it's about real life murders and slashers and stuff like that, and where people post on that site. And somebody posted a picture of all the girls. She's suspicious of this and she tells the girls. Then 2 of the students that were supposed to be in her class ended up on this website because they got killed by Bloody Rose in the first episode. So she brings it up to her friends. Somebody catfish turns all like, I want you to go to this abandoned cabin in the woods and blah, 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 and stuff like this. And I will tell you what's all going on. So like an idiot, she decides to go, but she brings her friends. This was actually Ash, her boyfriend. He did that to see would she be dumb enough to do it, and she did. I like Ash in this season. He's more protective of her because of what happened last season and stuff, and that's really great. And so he's just extremely worried that she's doing all this foolish stuff and, on this internet crap. And so when A is calling all the girls, because after leaving them a flower, and the girls think, oh, it must be my love interest giving me this flower and stuff. But no, it's A. That's the calling card, because Roberto thinks that clever. Bloody rose. Hey, let me give you a rose. And so, like, when nobody picked up the A decided, hey, I'm going to get on the spooky spaghetti site and contact Mouse and talk to her via webcam and talking about, do you want to know my connection to the Angela Waters and blah, 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 and stuff like that. And like a fool, she's watching it and responding back because, this is Mouse. I mean, her name is Minnie, and they named her Mouse on the show. So, of course, she's going to do something stupid via the internet. And that's really all she did in the first 2 episodes. I mean, that's all she did. So, yes. The first 2 episodes are pretty bleak and everything. And because there isn't much character development, there's only like a smidgen of it, but the most character development is that of Energen and everything, where the other girls just get like a tiny splash of seasoning because Roberto can't cook. Now, like I said before, Dr. Sullivan is back. She was in the original series. I've seen people go nuts online by talking about, yes, the queen is back. She ain't no stinking queen. She was barely in the original series. Why does everybody love her so much? I know, because it ties into the original series. There's a rumor that more of the original cast from the original series is supposed to appear in this show. I hope to God not. But like I've already said, hey, this show is connected to the original. This show is connected to the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, Riverdale, and something else, because Roberto thinks he is a genius. And so when it comes to the first 2 episodes, it just feels like a whimper. The kills are not impressive. The villain, we don't know the real motivation, but it has some ties to Archie because they want to avenge Archie because he's on death row and everything. But why exactly? Hey, we'll probably find out later in some stupid fashion. And so, like, they tied up the loose ends of the first season way too quickly. The Energen stuff should have lasted for a whole lot longer, but it got wrapped up in a nice little bow in the 2nd episode, and the other girls are just there in their own show. Energen feels like the main solo cast member, and everybody else feels like a recurring cast member. And I'm not even joking. And this is why I hate that they call this show Pretty Little Liars. And this is why I hate that he decided to tie it into the original series. The original series had its problems, but not like this. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.